right, good day everybody, and welcome. One of my favorite videos to make. It's the new release, and this is the new release for 2.7.0. So let's go through what's been updated first, and then we'll get into some additions, and then I'll show you a couple other things where there'll be more detailed videos coming later. But let's get right into it. Artifact updates. So application usage extraction on Mac OS and iOS rooted has been updated. Installed application extraction on Mac OS. Installed applications. There is now support for the Universal Windows Platform apps on Windows. Network extraction on Mac OS. User account extraction Mac OS. User logins and WhatsApp messages extraction on Android rooted. So the iOS rooted, the Android rooted, as you know, we bring in physicals from the other tools, so we'll be able to parse that information out from those. And you'll see we're a little heavy on Mac as well. We've redesigned the way we are getting information off of the Macs and parsing that out. That app is doing nothing but getting better. It's been automated now for the connection. So give it a whirl and see what we're doing there. Let's look at some of the additions. This one's awesome. Anybody doing probation, parole, I mean, it's good for everybody, but probation and parole, this is that little hidden gem, if you will, on your sessions and your synced tabs. So sessions, and I'll tell you, I was really surprised at how many I got off of my computer and how accurate it is. Of course, I'm using my browser for work, and I got a lot of tabs. But we're going to get into a more detailed video to get into, why and where you're getting some of this stuff from. But yeah, probation and parole, if you're getting these, if they're deleting other stuff, you may still be getting some tabs that have been synced or tabs from previous sessions. And you'll see what they've been doing. So that is awesome. Scan setup. So we have two ways of preparing a collection key, right? You take it and you put your search profiles on it, or you can set it up with just captures and not have the search profiles on there. And you were able to pick the captures that you needed on scene for those times where you couldn't plan before, right? You didn't know what you were walking into. And I always like to use the example of a missing person. You have no idea what you're in for, but you know there's information on that computer you want to get right off the bat. So what we've done here is we used to just put the default captures on that. Now it's going to pull over all of your user captures as well. So if you set up the collection key that way, you will now have your own hash sets. You could bring in your own keywords, or if they're already in there, they're already made, they'll come over. So any of your user created captures will now transfer to the collection key, and you can pick those on scene as well. All right, so here is a collection key that has been started. So here's DEI Pro running from a collection key. If I go into scan, you can see the system drive. And here's the captures. So this is set up without search profiles. And you can see here that I have my own hash sets in here. I have my own keywords in here. And I have some of my other keyword searches and captures that I've created for specific things. So again, you create these captures to do specific things. They are now available to you on scene when you set the collection key up in this manner. All right, while I'm here, we were talking about sessions. So you can see here, this is a 500 gig drive. Heavily used computer. It took 1 minute and 31 seconds. Not only did we pull out all the sessions and the top sites on this one, but we have a listing of all the files and folders that are on this device for us to go through as well. Anyways, but back to, I was talking about sessions. So 10,500 records from the session files from Chrome, Firefox, and Edge here. I can tell you here that Edge goes back for a couple years. The internet history has been cleaned a few times since then, so again, we'll have a more detailed video explaining this, but we are getting actual website visits from the session files and the top sites. So when you see all your top sites on your browser, the most visited sites, we're capturing that here as well. Okay, one of the things we've also done here in set up scans, now instead of having to go through manage search profiles, create a new profile, and then create a capture, which was the flow. So you usually went into edit or create a search profile. While you were editing and creating that search profile, you would add your captures. You now have the ability to go right to captures and start adding your captures, and then go back and create your search profiles later. Hey, this one, among some of the others that are in here, are user requested features. So we do listen, we do put those in. This isn't the only one on this. Direct access to the capture screens. All right, what else do we have here? Screen recordings and screenshots. You know how awesome it is with Android. You can see the screen, you can control the Android, you can scroll, you can video record. So now we have it on the iOS side. And let me show you here. Let's go to Investigate Mobile Devices, Screen Recordings and Screenshots. You can see here I have an Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max with 16.3.1 on it. We're going to come in here and let's choose Screen Recordings. Okay, the screen can now be mirrored. And you can see I have my iOS 16, iPhone 14 Pro Max, and recording here as well. There we go. Now I have my recording. So while iOS still doesn't allow us to do things like scroll or control the screen, we can see it, we can record it, and we can screenshot. Screenshot we've always had. The new portion here is the recording and being able to view the screen. And again, a more detailed video is coming on that. Some new enhancements, viewer enhancements. So we highlight the encrypted files that we found now. We used to keep those in a separate place. You kind of had to go look for it. Again, another user feature request that's been implemented in this. So we highlight those encrypted files now, and you can click on that and go see those. The ability to redact previews when exporting a report. This is the one-click sanitation, right? So you want to sanitize your report, one click, everybody knows the rules, and your report is sanitized. And we also have the ability to undock your frames panel, so you can go through and view that a different way. All right, you can see here on the summary page in statistics, I have files encrypted. It found 2, shows the little red lock. If I click on that, it brings me to those 2 files in the files view. So I have a encrypted doc file and a contacts.zip file. So I have this report with all these tagged images that become part of the report. And now you can see here, sanitized report, no previews and no original files will be included. Just click that button and your report will be sanitized. And since we're in here, let's go to the videos view. So now that I'm in videos, if I wanted to look at my frames, again, I can zoom these in, 50 frames. First frame, last frame, 48 from in between. But now I have the option to undock this. And again, I can still go through each and every one of these videos. Maybe I have this on another screen. But another user requested feature, that we've added in here as well. So just to put that back, you just hit dock, and now my frames is back on my panel. And the other one, with the token server, we have the ability to initialize authentication keys with licensed tokens. So using the token server, your laptop, your computer, your station, your workstation connects to the private cloud, downloads your token, you have the license, you can use it. So now instead of having another authentication key licensed all the time, you can now draw one from the cloud and license that authentication key to take out into the field. So switching to the token server method still gives you everything you've had. You still can take that authentication key out into the field and scan as many computers on scene as you need. All right, so thank you. That is a quick overview of the new release 2.7.0. I am going to have a few more detailed videos coming out right after the release, so you'll be able to see and learn a little bit more about each one of these features. That's all for today. Thank you for your time.